I'd been down before and I didn't want to go back down. She told me she'd be fine. I told her to watch herself. I thought she would be fine.
While Joanne returned to Caroline's mother's house, Caroline herself embarked on the long, lonely trip over to Renton. From the Ladyton shops, across the main road, down to the Black Bridge and along the unlit towpath beside the River Leven. She never returned home. At some point in that route, she was confronted by her killer. When her mother came back after her night out, she found Joanne there, but not her daughter. At that stage, she wasn't unduly worried.
Margaret came in, woke me up, asked me where Caroline was. I told her where she'd went.
But the next morning I thought, she'll phone, with some excuse, or she'll phone my sister, or she'll phone somebody to come with her to break the ice. But the phone call didn't come. Then I got angry, and then I got worried.
In the morning I just got dressed, went home. I came back again at 7 o'clock, went up to see Margaret, and Margaret says, no, she's still no back.
Phoned the police, gave a description, and I had such a feeling, a pain actually it was in my heart, and all I could do was rock because I knew something was wrong.
By now, rumours were sweeping the area that a body had been found in the River Leven.
I met a larger group of friends who then told me that Caroline's body had been found. I didn't want to believe it, but I went back up to tell Margaret.
So I tried to reassure her that not to be daft, that if that was I says I would know. Surely I would have known by now. I says, you know what this place is like for rumours. So she says, right, I'll go and get her. So she went away. And as I walked back in the living room and out the window, the police car drew up. Then I knew. I just knew it was her.
Caroline's body had been found half submerged in the River Leven. She had lain undiscovered for around 15 hours. The body of 14-year-old Caroline Glachan was found in the River Leven, not far from her Bonhill home, on the afternoon of August the 25th, 1996. A man walking his dog along the same towpath Caroline had taken the night before saw what he initially thought was a tailor's dummy in the water.
It was discovered by a passer-by on the towpath who went for assistance of some local boys who were nearby, and they all formed a human chain to go down to the riverbank to make sure that it actually was a body, and indeed it was, and then the police were summoned. She had head injuries. She had been the subject of quite a brutal attack. There was blood lying on the towpath, which would signify that the attack happened on the towpath. Caroline was fully clothed when she was found, bar her training shoes, which were on the embankment. The cause of death was head injury, oblique drowning, and we were unable to substantiate whether she had been conscious or unconscious when she entered the River Leven.
At first, it was assumed Caroline's death had been an accident. When it emerged she had been murdered, shockwaves reverberated around the community.
Once I'd made the identification, the policeman said to me they were treating it as suspicious circumstances. So that can only mean one thing. So she was murdered. So, and I had to go back and inform my parents, which was a hard thing to do, because up until then I hadn't actually voiced it, and when I walked in, they were waiting, and that's when I cried.
At first I thought she'd drowned or something, or which she did eventually, but I thought it was accidental. Then I get the full story about her being murdered by somebody. Everything that went through my head when I heard that was, it's hard to explain. I just wouldn't like anybody else to go through it. It's like losing both of your arms and your legs at the same time. Just not being able to do a thing.
Because Caroline's body had been in the water and the grass verge had been disturbed by rescuers, detectives found little forensic evidence. A fingertip search of the nearby primary school and football ground was carried out, together with door-to-door inquiries. When Caroline's school friends learned the news, they were thrown into a state of shock.
I think everybody was shocked and upset. Everybody in the school knew her in some way. There was a lot of people crying, a lot of people asking questions. It was just generally everybody was upset, and I said just everybody was shocked at something that happened to Caroline. I can't believe somebody would kill a 14-year-old child, because at the end of the day that's what she was. She was only a child.
The murder of Caroline Glachan is one of these headline events you tend not to forget about. In many ways it's every parent's worst fear. Your 14-year-old daughter goes out for an evening with her friends, never to return, is found dead the next day. A brutal death, a brutal unexplained death.
You know, as a local paper reporter, you do have to go into the community and secondary schools and talk to her friends and relatives, and it did become apparent that she was a very good-natured girl that had friends and had close family, and just very, very sad.
Despite the brutality of the crime and the huge publicity it generated, police were disappointed at the poor response to their appeals for information.
I was very surprised. A close-knit community, perhaps some members of the community traditionally reticent in helping the police.